Welcome to Dial It Up, where we're going to be talking about all things franchise marketing and business growth. I'm your host, Jamie Adams, and to my right, Mr. Jordan Wilson.
Hi, friends.
To my left, Miss Julia Cook.
Wildcat behind the wheel.
Hey-o.
All right.
Powerful.
that is very powerful. And to my far left, Mr. Patrick Crawford.
And you can trust me, or my name's not Jamie Adams.
Okay. We're going to keep the focus on search advertising and social marketing. So, Julia, you want to give us a quick overview on what search advertising is?
Yeah, just for anybody who doesn't know what search advertising is, when you go to Google or Bing, a search engine, you type in something that you are looking for, a service or whatever it is, what you'll see, that result, and that top 3 or 4 there, you'll usually see an ad. And that's what we're talking about right there. That's search advertising. You might see some ads along the bottom. You might see a different type of ad depending on what the business is or what the service is, but that's what search advertising is.
Nice. All right,
now, social advertising is a little bit
you're going to go there now.
Oh, that's what we're doing. We're doing some more definitions.
The other S.
Here we go. Who's interested? I'm interested.
Yep.
So
Let's talk about
everyone's
it.
got these, right? You're on your phone all the time looking at Instagram, Facebook, whatever. You might be looking on LinkedIn. You might be looking on Pinterest, any of these different social networks. And what you'll see is these advertisements popping up. It'll usually be a visual and it'll say something like, hey, you should buy this thing. You should sign up for this service. You should do something like that. And that's what social advertising is usually represented as.
I thought
I can't say it better.
Yeah, I can't.
You're
I can't
welcome.
beat it. So let's unpack this though in the context of the traditional marketing funnel, right? Everybody's seen the marketing funnel.
We all know the funnel.
And if you haven't,
If you haven't seen the marketing funnel, there's the top side of the funnel.
oh, here we go.
There it is.
There we go.
And a
we got
scale.
here. This is what's called the awareness stage, the consideration stage, and the purchase or I'm about ready to buy stage.
Closing the deals.
Conversion.
Deals, right? So one of the things that we want to talk a little bit about is where does search and social fit into this marketing funnel, right? So traditionally, the great thing about search marketing is it's a great way to market or advertise your product or service to people who are at that bottom stage, right? They're ready to buy.
Yep.
Right?
Boom, ready to
Nice
buy
graphic
right there.
update.
Exactly, right? So whereas social is really a mechanism you can use throughout the entire funnel, right? You can use it as a platform to make people aware of your product or service.
Yep.
You can use it in the consideration stage when people are a little bit further in thinking about buying. And then finally, you can actually use it as a mechanism to help get people over the hump, right? And we were talking before the show, Jordan, you have an interesting purchase recently where you used both search and social to influence your decision. Tell us about this.
It's true. So I've gained a little weight.
I don't think so.
I think you look great.
Don't.
I love
the
you.
camera makes you lose 10 pounds. Is what
So
they
what I'm
say.
trying to do is lose a little bit of weight. So my wife and I have decided to look into certain treadmills that were out there. And so about a week and a half ago, we were looking into a Peloton. We live in Cleveland, Ohio. And if you don't know about Cleveland,
Place rocks.
it does rock. And for about a good 5 months, you're not really going to be able to run outside. It's
Why is that?
Well, there's 12 inches of snow that just dumps right on you.
Stuff that comes from
He
these.
clearly hasn't seen Rocky IV.
That's true. I'm not Rocky yet. So we looked up a Peloton, looked at the specs, make sure that we could fit in our basement. The funny thing in that was after the first search a week ago, every one of my Instagram ads, I ended up seeing a Peloton ad that popped up on when I was on my phone, right? And so that led to last Thursday, my wife and I were talking and the little one was asleep and I said, what are we thinking? Are we going to make this purchase? The winter is coming, right?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Good. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
It's
Horrible
every
last
year,
season.
so
And so,
it's not really a
long story
spoiler.
short, we looked up some reviews, and one of the first reviews that we read on the website was, it's an introvert's dream. And my wife is an
And I think
introvert,
you're
right?
an introvert.
I'm not an introvert, but my wife is.
Okay.
And it doesn't mean that we want to be disconnected from people, but it is some comfort for an introvert to not have to go work out with a group of people. So we decided to purchase a Peloton. It got delivered to our house on Saturday. I did my first run on Saturday, get to compete. And so very excited about it, ready to get home to lose some weight.
Okay.
Nice.
All right.
That's it.
Okay, so let's unpack this a little bit,
Yeah.
right? So you were familiar with the brand, right? Peloton,
Familiar with the brand.
right? So you do a search.
Do a search.
Then you go to the website.
Yep.
It's a big purchase though. It's not a cheap piece of equipment.
Massive investment for the 5 months that we can't go do anything outside.
Okay.
So yeah,
Right.
Yep.
So you obviously didn't buy it just first time you saw it.
About a week.
Thought about it, talked about it,
Yep.
but then you started getting served ads on social.
Served ads on Instagram, served ads on Facebook. Yep.
Right. So that's something that's called retargeting or remarketing, right? So brands that are doing this well, they know when you search for them, they know when they hit your website.
And it's fantastic because a week before we had the conversation, the ads on social led to, oh, we need to figure out, are we doing this? So that ad was a
Yeah.
reminder of, picked the conversation back up because we didn't know at the time, was it going to take 3 weeks to get there? Was it going to take 2 days? So we knew, hey, we need to make a decision. Luckily enough, it took 2 days for them to show.
So when you went to the website, then you started sliding up into my DMs.
Straight in. Yeah. That's a true statement.
And as you were sliding into those DMs, you obviously were thumbing through your feed.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's a secondary reason you were there.
Secondary,
right?
yeah, of course.
But you thumbed through your feed, you saw some ads,
Yep.
got your attention, reminded you made the purchase.
Correct.
Right? Perfect use of social and search, right? Working together.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Patrick, you got anything to add there?
I think if we're going to bring this all to something that the audience can relate to,
Okay.
I'd like to talk about a saga known as the Fast and the Furious. Okay? Because I think a lot of times we think search and social, and a lot of people think search versus social. And that's not the way it should be.
No.
Okay? Take the main protagonist of the Fast and the Furious. You have Dom Toretto, played by Vin Diesel. Okay? He comes in and you're like, whoa, this guy's magnetic. He's the core. He's the foundation. Okay? He's our search. Okay? Paul Walker enters the frame. Okay?
Yes.
Beautiful, piercing eyes. Okay? I think we all know that.
Yeah.
Plays Brian, undercover FBI agent, brings a whole different element to the crew. Okay? A different fire. He's our social.
Yeah.
Okay?
All right.
And when these two are apart and they're against each other, it's not working quite as well. But when these two come together, we're talking about them saving the world.
Wow.
And I think
Yeah.
that's how
That's
you put the two
impressive.
together.
Great analogy.
That's impressive.
All right. Yeah.
I did not know where you were going with that. I
No,
got to be
me neither.
honest with you.
And I think the audience
haven't
probably
watched
hung
Fast
on
and
to
Furious.
it.
Right. So I think we all agree that these things work best when they're done together, not one versus
Right.
the other.
So, like in the story that Jordan just told, he didn't purchase the item directly after making that search and clicking on that ad or whatever it was that you did in the initial
Yep.
beginning. You didn't do that straight away. You
Nope.
thought about it, and that's why those social ads helped. I myself recently purchased something as well off of
us.
social, but it's a different part. So this is one where it's a different part of the funnel because I did not want to work out. I never want to
Listen,
work
Julia,
out.
I don't want to do any of it. Okay? I have to. I don't want
Me and you.
You don't have
We're
to.
I had
Pizza
Papa
friends.
John's last night, and it was great. I don't
Garlic
want to
dipping
do
sauce.
this.
No, but anyway, I'm not into it. Wasn't thinking about it. Not interested. No way. Here I am scrolling through my Instagram feed as we do, and
As we do.
I see an
All
ad
four
for
of us.
Row House, which is a franchise,
Ah,
and they do
okay.
rowing machine workouts,
Yep.
and it's like low impact, good for people who are like starting to exercise again. Hi, hello, myself.
Yes.
I didn't even know I was starting to exercise again.
Speaking to me.
But here we are. So then I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I click on it. I go on their website. Okay, fine. No, and then I go away. And then, oh, but the ad's still there, of course, because I've gone to the website. It's still showing to me, hey, I'm in your local area. Hey, we're opening one. Hey, it's right by your house. You should come and do this rowing exercise.
Amazing.
So, okay, then I fill out the form. And as soon as it opens, I will be at Row House when I didn't even know I wanted to
so they're not
be.
even open yet.
No, they're not. It was a whole grand
Smart.
opening
That's
play.
awesome.
Yeah.
Smart.
To get
Yep.
the-
So in that case, like you said, you weren't
no,
actively looking.
I wasn't even in this funnel. I
Oh,
was
yeah.
like, I'm here.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm in the no exercise lie in
Cool.
bed camp.
Yes, amen.
And then suddenly I go all the way, oh, I know about you. I'm like, I'll think about you. And then here I am purchasing this. And this
Okay.
actually happened, real story
Yep.
to me. And it's totally true. Anyone who knows me, I do not love exercise.
So there's a good segue into what are a few key things that a business needs to do and think about when they're considering a search and social campaign.
Yeah, so one thing should be targeting, right?
Okay.
And so you should do keyword targeting, targeting those consumers that are searching for your product or service is
Yep.
one. Geo-targeting, just like Julia talked about, Row House.
Yeah, right
They
in
knew
my
that you were
backyard.
in your backyard.
Yeah,
Those
it
are
worked.
easy main keys in targeting.
So targeting is great from a perspective of both search and social, right?
Yep.
Because you can target people in a specific geographical area,
Correct.
right? In both of those areas, right? The other thing that I think that they probably did with Julia on the social piece from a targeting perspective is they targeted based on her demographic.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
They
Very
know, they've done research, they
Yep.
know who their target customer is, right?
Yep.
And they identified someone of Julia's stature, age range, maybe interest and
Height.
occupation, height.
No, that wasn't
No,
part of
you
it.
don't think so?
No, probably not.
Maybe.
We want 6 foot
could've
tall
been.
redheads.
Why-
Sign
why
up
wouldn't they?
for,
Exactly.
You know what?
Yeah.
Excellent point.
Could have been. What's another key beyond targeting? Julia?
Definitely for me, creative.
Okay.
And that's two different.
So what does that
things.
mean? Yeah.
So right, if we're talking about search, and this is something that we can discuss this, gentlemen. But for me, the first line of defense for anybody who you're advertising to is that ad copy right there.
Okay.
So I'm doing my search, and then that's the first thing that I want to make sure it's good. It has to be exactly what I'm looking for. It has to say something that makes me interested, that makes me want to click on it because I read that. Now, the next thing, of course, part of creative would be that wherever it takes you, that landing page.
Okay.
So does it have what I'm looking? Okay, did I click on the wrong thing because it's goofy or it's going to some weird page that's nothing to do with what I wanted? These are all things that you have to consider. So those two things are extremely important. And on the social side, I mean, even more so, and we can talk about that too. As far as like, okay, so it's more image-based, right?
Yep.
You're scrolling through your feed. So that it has to speak to you. It has to be the right look. It has to be something you're interested in. It has to draw your attention in. So creative, super important for both search and
I'm
social.
crawling out of my skin right here because I disagree with you.
I know.
something.
Yep.
Speak
Okay.
if you must.
Okay, so I don't read on search ads. I don't read those.
Same.
The text
ad
at all?
copy.
No.
No, the ad
Do you
copy
read
doesn't
them?
do
I
anything.
think I
for me.
do,
You
but
do.
I think
I
do.
always
Yeah.
read it.
Especially if there's a deal or
Always.
something in there, for sure.
Okay.
How do you know what you just like click on it?
Well, I guess maybe it's just a product of knowing the industry like I know it. If people are smart enough to be advertising in search, that I feel like that there's a certain level of there's a certain stature of business that I may want to consider doing business with, and I want to click in and just see more. I'm not going to read the ad.
Yeah, I
That's
don't
just
either.
me. Where I do agree with you though on the creative side is the website or the landing page that I get brought to once I do click on an ad.
Yep.
Right? Because for me, I'm ADHD to the max. I know it's hard for any of you guys to believe.
Yep.
But if I click on an ad and it takes 10 seconds for the website to open,
Yep.
or if the website opens, but it takes me to a page that is not relevant at all to what I searched for,
Yep.
and they were showing an ad, and then I click on the ad and I'm like, oh, you got me. And then they take me to a page that has nothing to do with what I searched for. That's annoying
Yep.
too.
Yeah.
So
Bounce.
creative on that end,
Bounce.
I pay a lot of attention to.
Agreed.
All right. So what's more important, the ad copy itself or the landing page website?
More important is the
Creative.
site. It
The
is.
site,
Yeah, it
okay.
is. I will probably still go to a site if the copy is not great in an ad. If it's good, I'm definitely going to your site. But if the site's bad, no matter what, it's gonna. Mess
What
you
say
up.
you?
You're
a good
not
point.
gonna get there if the ad copy is atrocious. You'll
I
never
gotta side
actually
with Julia
get
because
there.
I started with her. You're right.
I'm just
boy.
saying you're not.
Yeah.
Now, look. Of course, I'm not saying that you should go to it. Neither
No, you
should
gotta
be
pick.
garbage.
You gotta pick one.
Fine, I'm picking the ad copy.
Yeah, ad copy.
Ad copy.
Yeah, of course.
You're not
it's
gonna
ad
go
copy.
there without
Okay.
it.
And Jordan said,
If that
yeah.
site is not seamless, if it doesn't engage me, if it's confusing, I'm gone. Right?
Yeah.
That's the most important to me. I'm most likely, you and I are most
I'm
likely.
with you.
We're getting there.
Yes.
So now that's the most important.
I'm with you.
And
Now-
that's the right answer.
Yes, it is. It is. Okay, so let's talk about social ads, right? So there is a little bit of a difference in social ads versus ads on a Google results page, right? Because social ads, like Julia mentioned, are typically there's some type of image or video involved, right, or some type of animation, right? There's still a landing page experience. Typically, you click through to something, right?
And there's still some content maybe along the bottom or sometimes on the image itself.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. So in this case, what's more important in a social ad setting? Is it the ad creative or is it the landing page or website that you're taking to?
I think Patrick wants to go.
Yeah.
All right, okay, all right.
It's easy. Well, the reason being is because I get real passionate about the exercise thing, especially with social, whether it's Row House or Peloton or whatever. Nothing turns me off more than if it's somebody that I can't relate to at all. So
Okay.
if the image is of some just
So can you give us an example?
shredded,
Well, yeah,
Let's
but-
try-
I
Let's
see
give an
where you're
example.
going.
You know what I mean?
I
It's like
got it.
Men's Health Magazine or something?
100%. Like, yeah, if you throw Ryan Reynolds up there, I'm gonna be upset if, like, I mean, although, look, you can't tell what's under the blazer. But, if an ad is too intimidating, it immediately turns me off. I will not go into that. And a lot of fitness companies right now are doing a good job of putting people that are relatable. And to your point on Peloton,
Yep.
that's in your house.
Yep.
Like, so you are comfortable in a safe space.
Yep.
Okay.
there.
All right. So what about you? On the social side, what's more important? The ad creative or the
So I'm
landing
going to
page?
stick to my philosophy here, which is
Okay.
what you see. Our philosophy, which is what you see first, is the most important thing. So
Okay.
it's the image.
Okay.
It's the actual image that
You
you're
guys
looking at
just don't
first.
think first impressions.
I'm
are
actually
important.
converting on social to ad creative.
Are you?
I am.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is. It's the one, if they do it well and it relates to me,
Yeah.
that's the most important thing when it comes to social. to me.
I'm going to convert too. I'm going to switch
Nice.
sides this time. I'm going to join the majority, and I agree on social, right? On
Yep.
social, I think there's a lot more that you can communicate. At least to me, you can communicate more through visuals,
Yep.
right? Either still images or video. So those things grab my attention. I don't have to read anything. I don't have to process very much in my own brain,
Yep.
which is awesome for
Yep.
me, right? So you've got to be thinking about people like all of us, right? There are people that may not read the ads. There are people that may put more stock in the landing page versus the ad copy. And there are people that do the exact
I read
opposite.
every part of the ad. Why wouldn't I do it?
All of it's
Why
important.
wouldn't you?
All of it's important.
It's good.
Right? Okay, so we've got targeting, right? We've got creative. I'll throw one out
Yeah.
there. I think measurement and optimization
Crucial.
of your marketing and advertising is very, very critical.
Yep, crucial.
Right? So what do you think about
Yeah,
that?
so if we're talking about search, there's all different ways that you can measure certain things. You can measure impressions and clicks and leads. These are all the different things that you can measure. And then also when someone comes to the site, and then form fills and phone calls, these are all different ways you can measure whether the campaign is performing. With
Yep.
social, it's a little bit different.
Yeah, I mean, you're seeing impressions, but the way that people are engaging with
Right.
it, are they liking it? Are they commenting? Are they sharing that with their friends?
It's a little
You
bit
can get a
different
really
on
good
social.
Yeah.
feel
People
for
act differently. It's not so
This is
much
good.
see, click. It's more like, are we engaging with
Yep.
this ad? You can send it to your friends. You can go to the actual website from it. You can like it on the like button. You can do all these different things with
Yeah.
it.
And I think, actually, if we go back to our original argument, measurements actually helps prove our point the most because some text ads work better than others. And we would measure that, obviously, to
Yeah.
say, this ad is more effective for people than others. This one's not causing people to click into the site. And so,
Isn't it ridiculous? I got an
Oh.
issue here. I got an issue here.
Oh, no,
I
we're
got-
doing
it's
it.
coming, it's coming.
Okay,
it's
listen.
coming, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming.
Listen to me. Listen to me.
Tell them what it's time for.
Jam drop.
It is the year 2020. Digital marketing has been around for well over a decade now. If you are not, as a business, measuring your marketing and advertising, when I say measuring, you're not keeping an eye on how many people are seeing your ads, how many people are clicking through your ads, how many people on search are calling your business or submitting a form, or if you've got a shopping cart, buying something. If you're not measuring that, you're losing your mind. You're missing out on all this important data that could help you make better business decisions. And there are an infinite amount of tools out there at your disposal that are easy to find
Yep.
to put all these things in place.
There's no excuse as
Ran
a
over.
franchisee. There's
Ran
no
over.
excuse. You're
Whew,
on full
man.
flats. Yep.
I think I'll wore myself out.
I love jam
You know what?
drops.
He needs a pit stop.
Yeah.
there it is.
So
I was
good.
waiting for that.
It's true though, Jamie. There's zero excuse this day and age to not be able to do those things.
Right?
No,
So-
I mean, what do you do that's an ongoing thing in your life that you don't maintain? I
Yeah.
mean, you would never buy a car and just drive it for 10 years and never do anything to it. That's
Correct.
not what we do.
Yeah.
It's the same with your marketing campaign.
That's right.
Yep.
You have to look at it, you have to adjust it, and there are so many tools and ways to look at this information, and it's your duty as a business owner to at least look and see what it's doing.
Yeah, yeah. So quick recap on this, right? You've got targeting,
Yep.
right? So that could be on search. It's everything from keyword targeting, geographical targeting. On social, right? You can throw in demographical targeting, right? You could even do, like we talked about in your Peloton example, things like retargeting.
Yep.
So tracking if people have been to your website.
Crucial.
Yeah, you go there and follow them around.
Yep.
They
Yeah.
can make that purchase.
super effective, as we saw.
Yeah,
You can
worked
you
for
can
all of
even
us.
you can even leverage Google, right? You have something called search retargeting, right? Where you can actually target people who searched something that didn't even get to your website, but you
Follow
know that they
around.
searched, and you can show an ad based on your relevance to
Yeah,
them.
it takes them from here where they are, or maybe here, all the way down to where you want them to be. That's
Bingo.
That
That's
funnel right there.
So targeting, crucial, right? Creative,
Creative.
V for victory, yes.
I think all four of us agree that creative.
Creative,
Super important.
super important, right? Let's recap the creative, right? You've got the ad copy, which is typically
important.
Yep, on search.
50% of all people say it's super important.
Of all people.
Okay, so you got your landing page creative, right? You got your website that you land to, right? And then the third was measurement and optimization, right? And what's critical about this is you can't optimize a campaign. You can't make changes and adjustments that are actually intelligent unless you're measuring what's going on, right? So in order to optimize, you got to measure.
Yeah.
That measurement's going to affect everything that you're doing up front. It could change your targeting, it could change your creative. That measurement is ultimately going to be your biggest key.
Yeah, and it's also going to inform you when not to change.
That's right. That's exactly
Great
right.
point.
Yeah,
Yep.
because it's not just change because it's time to change.
Yep.
You have two different ways you can look at
Yeah.
this, and
The data
measurement and
will lead you.
optimization. Yes, exactly. Use the data to lead you to the right decision. If you have an ad that is killing it,
Yep.
as we like to say, you want to change that.
Yeah, yeah.
Keep killing it.
Yeah.
So
do that.
I think it's safe to say that we see quite a few brands in the franchise community, and then even brands outside the franchise community that have some opportunity to make some improvements in these arenas.
Yep.
But we also see some brands that are doing it pretty well.
Right.
Right? They're blending the search and social kind of this integrated marketing plan pretty well.
Yep.
Right. And we're fortunate enough today to have a guest here with us. We've got Christy Barnes, who's the director of marketing at Camp Bow Wow.
Yeah.
And she's got a really, really cool social campaign that she's going to talk to us about. And she's going to also talk about how they blended that social campaign with other types of marketing and advertising to really maximize the effectiveness. Christy, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
How was the trip?
It was great.
All right, good deal. Good deal. Why don't you start? Just tell us a little bit about your background. How long have you been at Camp Bow Wow? What's your role like? Give us a little history there.
Sure. So I've been at Camp Bow Wow for 6.5 years. I oversee all of our different brand building initiatives, digital marketing efforts, our creative output from the national level, and then also supporting our local franchise owners get new customers throughout their marketing efforts.
Okay, cool. So 170 locations, all North America.
Correct.
Anything in Canada?
One in Canada.
Yeah! Julia's from Canada.
Canadian.
Oh,
Look at that.
All right.
We're in-
That was probably a bigger reaction than you were expecting.
Apparently, we're big fans of Canadians.
Oh, we are. Julia's here.
Yes,
Right, obviously, you have to.
We
I love
love
you.
Canada too. We have the one location in
Okay.
Canada.
Now, where's your location in Canada right now?
In Halifax.
Okay,
Oh,
great.
nice. My cousins live there.
Oh, no way.
Did they just become best friends?
I think so. I think so.
Do your cousins have a dog?
I like what you did there, though. You're
shit.
going for the sale. You're going for the sale. Okay, so you launched a really interesting social campaign, Give a Fetch, right? I got that right?
Yeah.
Give a Fetch.
Hashtag Give a Fetch.
Hashtag Give a Fetch. So tell us a little bit, how did you guys come up with that as a campaign?
People are constantly posting photos and stories and videos about their dogs on social media. Just the other day when I looked, there were over 235 million posts on Instagram with hashtag dog.
Yep.
So
Wow.
we came up with Give a Fetch, and what Give a Fetch is it promotes being a responsible pet parent and community member while celebrating the special things we do for our dogs, showing how they give a fetch.
Yeah, when I saw
Some people say I give too many fetches.
Yeah.
I don't think that's possible.
No, that's true.
There's one I saw that was really sweet. We're carrying the dog up the stairs every night. There's,
Yeah.
like, some really sweet ones.
Yeah, there's a ton. We've been very entertained by the many entries, and this is our third consecutive year of doing it. So
Okay.
there's been a ton of engagement and a lot of people showing how they care.
It's crazy that you think about 15 years ago, the norm for dogs was to be outside. And most of them slept outside. Now, it's not the norm for your dog not to sleep in your bed or to be on your Instagram. They are so much now a part of family, and we have 2 dogs as well, and those dogs own our bed. And so it's fine. I love them.
Yeah,
They're warm.
They get on the Peloton.
They get on the Peloton. That's cool.
Trotting along beside you.
Accountability partners are fine.
That's right. That's right.
Going.
You got to get that heart rate up. They're not going outside.
Now, is this campaign something that was exclusively on social media, or did you guys do other types of integrated marketing?
Yeah, so it was definitely an integrated campaign. So the core of it was a national social media contest. That's where we're asking people to share how they give a fetch.
Okay.
But we also had a lot of other elements to the campaign. So there was a ton of digital advertising around it. We had a microsite. We had doggy Instagram influencers.
Oh, nice.
We also had kickoff events in multiple cities across the U.S. all on the same weekend. This was to generate buzz about the campaign and help to build awareness and media attention.
Very cool.
great.
Very cool. So I've always loved Camp Bow Wow just as a brand name because you hear Camp Bow Wow and you immediately get an idea of what the business is, right? And it's fun, right? But how did you guys come up with the name Give a Fetch? I'm really curious about that.
Yeah, because a little edgy, which I love.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So how did the name come about?
It kind of just happened naturally in a happy hour brainstorming session.
Wine and beer. I knew that.
Oh, yes, that's where the best ideas
That's it.
I've never had
That's
any
how
good
the show
ideas
got
whenever I
created.
Yeah, I don't
You
even know
know,
what's
and-
in this.
Any good brainstorming session, a bunch of bad ideas are thrown out,
Yep.
and then that helps you get to the good one.
Yes.
And someone said, give a fetch, and we were like, wait, that could work.
Yeah.
And with social, you can be a little more edgy than you would in traditional marketing. So it allowed us the opportunity to use that name.
Yeah, and obviously it worked.
Yeah, yeah. So I think one of the challenges that we hear a lot of franchises have is how do they, when they take these concepts, how do they really get them integrated into the entire franchise community? How did you communicate this to your franchisees? How did you get them behind it? Just tell us a little bit about
Yeah,
that.
basically he's asking, how did you make fetch happen?
Yes, that is exactly what I'm asking. Yes.
Well, we definitely made fetch
Yes,
happen.
you did.
And it took a lot of time and a lot of communication with our franchise owners leading up to the campaign launching And we made it easy for them to participate on the local level. So we provided an opportunity for them to have an in-camp contest where they were asking their clients coming in every day, how do you give a fetch about your dog?
Okay. How did you guys think about measuring the success of a campaign like this?
Our first year, we didn't really know, what to expect out of it, but we were tracking everything. We were tracking engagements on social media, and our engagement rate was really high during the course of the campaign. We were measuring media impressions, number of media placements, increase in followers on Facebook and social media channels.
Were there any surprises about outcomes that you saw that you maybe weren't expecting?
Some of our pet parents naturally started talking about the way that they give a fetch is by taking their dog to Camp Bow Wow and getting them that interaction with other dogs, that exercise that they so need. And so that was awesome to see.
But that's what happens whenever you approach social from like a really authentic place, right?
Yeah,
You weren't really
exactly.
doing that with that purpose in mind. You're doing it because you genuinely care about that, getting your pets out, getting them, showing that they're being taken care of, right? So
Yep.
you're clearly a great representation of the Camp Bow Wow brand. Patrick was talking to us about before the show, and he wanted to equate our personalities to certain brands as well that are active on social media. Yeah,
I'm scared.
So
Who do you want me to start with?
let's start.
The
you
closest
choose.
one to you.
You choose.
Cool.
Start with Julia?
Yeah, start with Julia.
Okay,
If
Julia.
Julia were a social media brand, who would that brand be?
Yeah. Well, for you, it's not just the brand.
Okay.
It's the actual product.
Oh,
Okay.
This is good.
I know where this is going.
We're going something very current right here, happening in our country. Big deal.
so
Very
upset.
talked about. You'd be a Popeye's chicken sandwich.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I think,
Yes.
I think we can all get.
Yes.
I think we can all get involved with that. Now look, you're like, what? A Popeye's chicken sandwich? That makes no sense. But listen,
No.
everyone's talking about it, just like they're talking about you. They're saying this is in super high demand. Okay.
Yeah, it
They've
was.
heard so much about you. Okay. And finally, you're back in stock. They're eating it up right now.
Yeah, very delicious.
Okay, pretty good. I don't mind it.
Yeah, and Popeyes is a great brand. And it's a Louisiana brand. You're our only California person. I wanted to bring you over because you
Oh,
feel
thank
like
you.
a Louisianan
Thank
to
you.
me.
I love
LA.
this. Great work, Pat.
Thank
Great
you.
work. Great
Thank
work.
you.
Really
Who,
good.
who next?
You pick, or let Christy pick.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Dun, dun.
Dun, dun.
Let the joke begin.
When I think of Jordan,
Okay,
I think of Dollar Shave.
look at me in the app.
Dollar Shave Club.
He said it.
That's
Not how this is.
that wasn't one of my points. But
it's written down.
if it was, I'd say
sorry.
you get
I didn't
refilled
hear you.
super fast.
What did you say my brand was?
Dollar Shave Club.
Okay.
Okay. Razors, they get shipped to your home. I chose Dollar Shave Club because I think you're super sharp.
Wow.
Okay.
wow.
And they have
I
a
like
big
this.
personality as a brand.
Yeah.
I think everybody here.
Good. Thank you, Patrick.
You're welcome.
Julia, I remember what you said.
Yeah. And for our third J,
Yeah.
Jamie,
Yeah. I'm a little nervous about
No, I'm
this.
too.
I chose Mayhem for you.
What is mayhem?
You know,
know where you-
the Allstate commercials where
Mayhem.
mayhem happens to keep you protected from mayhem like me. Okay.
So you're saying people need to be protected from me.
I think, look, I think we've
Hey,
we've
I'm a
seen it
sandwich.
a few times. You know? You come in,
Throwing that out there.
we're going one way, and you're like, nope, disagree. You add it. Let's put a little mayhem in this. You make people think about things a little bit differently than they did
Nice.
before.
Good. That's very nice.
Sharply dressed is what I'd say.
Yeah,
He is
even
wearing
in
a suit.
times of turmoil.
Yeah,
And-
that's a true story.
Yeah,
That came out
going
of nowhere.
deeper than I even thought.
I
Yeah,
feel like you're the only one who could make mayhem into a good thing.
That's true.
I appreciate
And I appreciate the
I
fact
think
that you
was the
did it.
nicest thing that
Well,
anybody's
now
ever said to me.
let's hear.
Did we just become best friends?
Yep, you did. All right, Pat. I'll do Pat. There's a
We're
company
doing.
out there called MVMT. They do watches.
Yes.
Okay. Matter of fact, all
know
of
the
my
band.
groomsmen got them for a gift. We
that
bought
was
them
nice.
MVMT
Very cool.
watches. So when I think about
Wait, I
MV
wasn't a groomsman.
You weren't. I'll get you a watch though.
Okay.
So when I think about MVMT, Pat, I think about inexpensive.
Good.
I think about.
Okay, very good.
I think that's affirming.
Is that?
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
I think about looks very good.
Okay.
It's not a Rolex price,
Right.
But it could look like a Rolex.
Wow.
It's simple.
It's
Yeah.
simple.
Simple but good looking.
It's
Okay.
classy.
Yeah.
The locks of your hair and how they're flowing today.
Yeah.
And just like you, Patrick, how they started was on social media. and how avid you are on social.
And that is so me.
Right?
Plus, I love wrists. We all know that.
You love a good wrist.
I think we all know
Wow,
that, right?
that's so weird.
I'm a wrist guy.
So I've never heard anyone say that.
No, this is the first time for all of us.
Oh, no, I always look
including
at
our
us.
live studio audience.
That's right. Oh my God, the phones are lighting up over that one. That was the big one. That was
Wow,
the
weird, right? Weird.
There we go.
Christy, so I know you've only spent a little bit of time with us, but what did you think about these comparisons?
I thought they were all good from what I know of each of you, and they're also very relevant to this day and age and the popularity of certain brands on social media. So I think y'all nailed it.
Thank you, Christy.
Yes, yes.
We clap for ourselves.
I do that.
Good.
Yeah.
Christy, thanks so much for making the trip out and joining us. This has been a pleasure. Be sure that you check out Camp Bow Wow on social media. Participate in the Give a Fetch hashtag.
Yep. Give a fetch about your dogs.
Yeah.
Yes.
You should do it. You already do.
Put it on the gram.
If it wasn't on the gram, it didn't happen.
True.
If you're sitting there wondering what the fetch is Camp Bow Wow,
Give us
go look them up.
Bingo.
I love it.
We can't wait to see you next time on the next episode of Dial It Up.
right.
Until then, thanks for joining us and have a great day.